Hello everyone, this is Matthew John. Thank you so much for joining me for my energetic preview and guided meditation activation for 2021. And once again, I'm so excited to be here on this Soul Shine series on the New Earth One network. And if you're not familiar with who I am, I'm a spiritual teacher, intuitive healer, Starseed guide, medical intuitive, psychic, and international speaker. Thank you once again for joining me, and in this energetic transmission what we're going to be doing is diving into the energetics of 2021 based on astrology, numerology, and my own personal intuition. We're going to talk about how you can best utilize and navigate these energies to have the best possible experience of 2021 and beyond. And we're going to finish up with a powerful guided meditation and activation so you can experience your highest possible reality in 2021. So before we dive into 2021, let's put a bow on 2020. And for so many, obviously, for most of the planet, 2020 was an incredibly challenging year. This virus has caused just a massive disruption in the way of life that we took for granted, that so many of us took for granted. And the thing is that as far as 2020 went, many astrologers could see it coming from a mile away with this stellium in Capricorn that we experienced during this year. We had Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn all spending the majority of 2020 in Capricorn, and also some retrogrades involved there. And we started out the year on January 12th, 2020 with a powerful conjunction between Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. And Capricorn is an earth sign, and it has so much to do with structure. And really what we've seen this year is the disruption of the structures of life and of society, especially, that we've taken for granted. And because of this, people have been shaken up. Millions and millions and millions of lives have been affected. Many have passed away, sadly, of course. But regardless of what your experience has been so far during this international crisis, chances are something in your life has gotten shooken up because of this. And this was really energetically to be expected in 2020. 2021, I am kind of labeling it as the year when we take the lemons and make it into lemonade. Like, 2020 was just being doused with lemons, and then finally we're getting a chance to kind of alchemize it and take our next steps forward individually and collectively in 2021. We'll talk more about that. There are some optimistic aspects astrologically for 2021. There's also some more troubling aspects, kind of like we've seen in 2020. And it's going to be a very interesting year for sure, but it's going to be for sure an opportunistic year, and definitely on a personal level, the best thing to keep in mind for 2021 is to take opportunities as they come, to be willing to step forward into your highest possible path, into your highest possible destiny. And that's why we're going to finish this up with this guided meditation activation that I've downloaded for everyone that's watching. So 2020 ends with, on the solstice this year, with a powerful Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in Aquarius. Now, Jupiter and Saturn astrologically meet about every 19.6 years. They don't always, it depends on how close they get to one another, but they'll get within orb of one another. The last time we've had a Jupiter and Saturn conjunction this close astrologically was 1226. And this is significant because it's a powerful one. It's a powerful one, and it starts not only a new 20-year cycle, but a new 200-year cycle. And in fact, it's said that they're going to appear so close together that it may appear like a new star has appeared in the sky. And these new cycles that are being started by this great conjunction, as it's being called, are very important. And it's happening in Western astrology in Aquarius. And Aquarius is something that is going to be the overarching theme in 2021. In 2020, it was Capricorn. And we saw all this Capricorn energy, as I've already said, break down structures, cause disruption. 2021 the theme is going to be about this interplay between unity and division unity and division. The highest aspect of Aquarius is unity, complete unity, the Christ consciousness, where we have become one human race, really, right? And of course we are one human race, but we forget that because of all the divisions that have been forced and pushed upon us over the centuries. The highest aspect of Aquarius is unity. It's the Christ consciousness. It's the complete working together of the human race as almost as one body, right? And that's what is going to be required eventually for us to really earnestly see the fifth dimensional consciousness play out on a wide mass scale around this planet, which is destined to happen as we are in the planetary age of Aquarius. Now, the lower aspect of Aquarius is about ideology. Aquarius is a fixed sign, so it has an air, pun intended, why not? It's an air sign, an air of stubbornness to it. And the lower aspect of Aquarius can show up when people dig their heels in ideologically. And if you live in the United States, like I do, if you see what's going on around on the news and social media, it kind of seems like that's happening, where due to this really contemptuous election year, people on both sides of political ideology especially have really dug their heels in. And that may be something that continues throughout 2021, especially for the first part. You know, the overarching theme, as I said, is going to be this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction that happens actually in 2020. And the whole year of 2020 is going to be about this push-pull between Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. Jupiter wants to expand. Saturn wants to restrict. So the Jupiter aspect of this conjunction wants to say, all right, let's move forward with unity. Let's move forward with technology. Aquarius also rules this very airy technology, and that is the internet and everything wireless. And we're about to see an explosion, and an absolute explosion in technology. We're going to see a technological revolution that we have never seen before on this planet in its speed and its acceleration, starting right now. Pay attention to things like cryptocurrency. Pay attention to things like self-driving cars, new green technologies, new wireless technologies. And of course, the other aspect of that is, how do governments utilize that technology? Do they use it for more control, or is it something that is more empowering for the people? And of course, there's likely to be both sides of that playing out. Flying cars, hovercrafts, different sorts of ships, eventually teleportation devices, probably but within the next 80 to 100 years, I would imagine. And all of these incredible technologies are going to come into the mainstream consciousness, but how are they used? That's the big question. That's what will play out. Are they used for more control, or are they used for empowerment, or is it a bit of both? And it's likely to be a bit of both. And that'll be kind of part of the overarching theme of 2021. We may see more things like protests and marches in the streets around the planet. Whatever's going on in a certain nation state, the people have been really expressing over the past couple of years their displeasure in a lot of ways, in a lot of different places around the world. We're likely to see that continue or even accelerate, especially if we see economic issues continuing. And that's another interesting aspect to pay attention to in 2021, is Uranus, which is the ruler of Aquarius, is in stubborn, fixed Earth Taurus, which has so much to do with money and the economy, squaring. And a square is a contemptuous relationship in astrology, squaring Saturn in Aquarius. And Saturn restricts. So it's this restriction and this contemptuous square, versus Uranus is the great mixer-upper. It stirs the pot in Taurus, which is the sign that rules over the economy. So we have a ripe energy for unsettled economic times. And many countries right now are experiencing record unemployment because of the virus, right? And that may continue. That may continue with these aspects. It's like it could get worse too. It could get worse before it gets better. There are some positive things to look forward to astrologically in 2021, especially With Jupiter, we'll actually spend some time in the middle of the year in its own sign of Pisces, and actually in the middle of the year, there looks like kind of the most exciting, most fortunate time of the year for the collective. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out economically. If I had to guess, things may be very difficult economically for the first part of the year as this virus has to play itself out. Eventually the virus, epidemiologically has to run out of steam, and we may see a very large economic recovery. Pluto is in Capricorn until 2024. Pluto is in charge of breaking down the larger systems, and many astrologers and many seers have kind of thought that by the end of 2024, we will kind of need to see the whole shebang, the whole structure somehow shifted massively. The whole political and economic structure of the entire planet. So how that plays out, we don't know, but there's likely some economic shifts that are involved with that. And for you and I in this New Earth community, what's important is that we keep putting our energy into creating the new economy that we want to create. And I know there's lots of questions, of course. What is that? What is that new economy? And I'm not even sure I know, really. The cryptocurrency could be a big part of it, of course, right? But we want to put our energy into creating those structures that serve people, that help people. So if you want to start a company where you are providing a service that you feel people need in the new earth, go for it. Get started now. And think about the idea of freedom, because Aquarius, the highest aspect of Aquarius is unity, but also freedom. And freedom really is a higher aspect of unity, of course, because you can have unity in people that feel like they're constricted in some way. But even better is unity amongst people who feel free, right? So we want to think about what makes me feel free. What makes me feel that I'm freely able to express the highest expression of myself? What type of career is that? What type of relationships? What type of home environment? What type of lifestyle? What type of day-to-day habits really support that idea of freedom? So think of that higher aspect of the Aquarian values for this year, unity and freedom, and make sure you're doing what you can in order to allow yourself those gifts more than ever before. And this is a 5-year in numerology. And in numerology, 5 is the frequency of change, but it's also the frequency of breaking free. Breaking free from a structure that may have been constricting, because 4 is a structure, and 4 is a very Capricorn energy to it, which is interesting. 5 does kind of have an Aquarian energy to it, because it's about breaking free and shifting when one needs to shift. And what we're going to see on the planet is this idea, this play between this call for freedom, this call for unity, ideologically digging in, and that push-pull between that, and also just the birth of all this newness, especially in the fields of technology. And that's why it's really going to be a fascinating year, and I'm super excited about it. And I just know that this planetary crisis that we're experiencing right now will get better. It may take a while before it gets better, but it will get better. And I just implore everyone to stay safe and to stay in peace until then. Let's wrap this up with a guided meditation to activate your highest potential in 2021. You're going to be going on a journey up a mountain. So what I'd like you to do is close your eyes and take 3 nice deep breaths, please. I'd like you to visualize that you are in your home. You're all alone, and it's very peaceful. Next, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to place in this vision all of the people, the things, the events, the daily habits, the obligations, everything that is a part of your life now. Imagine those things, those people, or even symbols for those things in your home with you now, please. I'd now like you to imagine that you're packing for a climb up a mountain, and regardless of your physical state right now, for this exercise you're going to pretend that you have all of the physical strength and resources that you need to make this climb. And you're going to need to vet some things here because you're not going to be able to bring everything with you. You're going to go on this climb, and when you reach the top of this mountain after receiving some activations, you will find yourself in your highest possibility for your life in 2021 and beyond. And you cannot take everything from 2020 with you. So I want you to categorize in your mind right now. You're going to put things into 3 categories. 1, things that you definitely want to take with you. 2, things that you might want to take with you into 2021. And 3, things that you definitely don't want to take with you into 2021. I want you to imagine now categorizing all the people, places, things, obligations, rituals, anything that's a part of your life into these 3 categories. There can be different rooms in your house, for example, that are labeled with these categories. Great. And you've got your big hiking backpacks. You might even have a donkey with you that'll be able to carry some more things for you up this mountain. However, you realize that you can't take everything from the yes and the maybe categories. You know you don't want to take anything from the no category. You're fine with that. But you're going to need to do a little bit more vetting now. And anything that's from the maybe category that you're not completely sure that you need in 2021 and that will serve you in 2021 once you reach the top of this mountain. Great. And now imagine that you've packed everything up. If you've got a donkey with you to help carry the load, you've packed everything up on the donkey. You've got his food, of course, too. And as you exit your house, the mountain is in front of you, and it's a huge mountain. But again, in this magical experience, you have everything you need to climb this great mountain. And there's going to be some activations along the way on this hike. And the first activation is going to be right here at the bottom of the mountain. You're starting along the trail, and you see a wooden lockbox. And you know that you have the key. And you have the key on you as you open up this lockbox. You open the lid, and inside is a glowing red item. And this item will activate your abundance, your highest abundance for 2021. This glowing red item, you take it in your hands, you feel its energy. You feel what gifts it has for you. And you place it into your own root chakra and feeling it integrate. As you feel this highest possibility for your 2021 abundance now activated. As you continue now up the mountain, closing the lid on this lockbox, continuing up the trail, the climb is getting steeper and steeper, taking a few breaks along the way. And eventually you come up on a second lockbox here on the trail. This is activation number 2. The activation of your joy and creativity. And as once again you have the key for this lockbox, you open it up. You pop open the lid and you see a glowing orange item. And this glowing orange item will activate your highest possible joy and creativity in 2021. As you now take this orange item into your hand, feel its energy, and place it, integrating it into your own sacral chakra. And once that is done, you close up the lockbox and continue on your blessed journey here. You're feeling stronger and stronger as you continue to climb up this mountain. The climb seems to get easier as the terrain gets more difficult. You might pass a waterfall and a river, and eventually you may come up upon a third lockbox. This is your activation of your maximum self-esteem and self-empowerment. As you come up upon this lockbox, and once again you have the key on you, you turn the lock, you pop it open, and you see a glowing golden yellow item. This will activate your highest possible self-esteem and self-empowerment for 2021. As you now take this in your hands, feel its energy and what it has to teach you and gift you, and you place it into your own solar plexus chakra, integrating it fully, and feeling this activation of your maximum possible self-esteem and self-empowerment. Closing up the lockbox and moving along on your way. And now, perhaps, as it has moved from morning to afternoon, as you continue along this sacred hike up this mountain, it's getting cooler and the trees are getting smaller. And as you now find yourself coming up upon a fourth lockbox here, and this is the activation of your deeper forgiveness, deeper compassion, and deeper openness. And as you naturally once again have the key, and you open up the lock, pop open the top, and you see this glowing, beautiful, vibrant green item that represents this activation of your deeper forgiveness, deeper openness, deeper compassion. And as you take this in your hands and feel what lessons it has for you, feel its energy, and integrate it into your own heart chakra. Feeling this activation take place, feeling your heart open, feeling compassion, forgiveness, understanding, and openness for yourself and for all of life. Having done this activation now, closing up the lockbox and continuing along this journey. As now you've moved above the tree line and it's getting windier, you're finding yourself moving over boulders, the sky is clear, some passing clouds. You can start to see all the valleys and all the wilderness and the civilization also in the distance below you. And As you now continue on this hike, you will reach a 5th lockbox. This will be the activation of your highest soul mission in this lifetime. Once again, of course, you have the key on you, and you open up the lock, pop open the top, and here you have it, this glowing sky blue item that represents the activation of your highest soul's mission here in this lifetime. And as you now take this in your hands and you integrate it into your throat chakra, feeling this activation of your highest soul mission, and you might even in this moment get glimpses, feelings, visions, words about what your highest soul mission is in this sacred lifetime. And as you now close up this lock, close up the lockbox, and you continue on your hike, you're almost to the top. You can see the summit ahead. And the views are getting more and more spectacular as you continue up this mountain. And as you continue up this mountain, you will now reach a 6th lockbox. This is the activation of your higher psychic gifts. As you once again grab the key that's on you already, open up the lockbox, flip the top, and you see a glowing indigo, like kind of a darker blue, not quite navy, but a darker blue, a glowing indigo item that represents this activation of your higher psychic gifts. As you take this item in your hands, feel what it has to offer you, with the intention, of course, that this only activate the psychic gifts that you're ready for. And as you place this into your third eye and feel that activation happen, feel that activation of your higher psychic gifts. If you're already very psychic, this will only now enhance your gifts and maybe bring you new gifts to play with, along with the gifts you've already done very well with. And if you feel like you could be much more psychic, or you have a lot more development to go, this will accelerate your psychic development. And you'll start to be able to play with these psychic gifts more and more. Great job. As you now close up this lockbox, and now move along up this trail towards the summit. You can see the summit just up ahead. And before you reach the summit, there's one more lockbox waiting for you. And this is the activation of your highest universal connection. And of course, we're always connected to the all. We come from the all. We are the all. We can't not be connected with the universe. We can't not be connected with God and Creator. But sometimes there's blockages in our crown or above our crown. And sometimes we feel that we can't connect, even though we inherently can. Sometimes we feel as if we're lost, even though there's always that connection there. And we're never separate from those higher aspects of self, from the soul, from the higher self, from our spirit guides that are graciously with us all the time. And this activation will serve to remove any blockages and just increase the strength of that connection. Even though that connection's already there, it will remind you of the strength of that connection. As you open up this lockbox with the key and see a glowing violet item, and you take it and feel what it has to offer, feel this universal connection, feel this connection with your higher self, with your guides, with everything, with the all, and you place it above your head into your crown chakra, feeling it integrate. Wonderful. Closing up the lockbox. And now, as you continue towards the summit, it's so cold, it's so windy, but the views are spectacular. They're so worth it. As you finally reach the top of this mountain that you've been hiking all day, and on top you see a sign that says, "Welcome to your highest possible 2021." And now around this sign you see people that you haven't met yet. Interesting people you're going to meet in 2021 on your highest timeline. You're seeing interesting opportunities and experiences that you're meant to have on your highest timeline in 2021 here on the top of this mountain. And you're seeing all of the joy and abundance and great health and just contentment and happiness and peace that you're meant to experience on this highest timeline of 2021. Seeing this on top of the mountain, experiencing it, being grateful for it. How exciting is this? And just take a moment to explore what's waiting for you on the top of this mountain. And you're feeling so grateful that you had vetted everything from 2020. You didn't take everything from 2020, that you let some things go. Because it made room for all these beautiful new things waiting for you on the top of this mountain. You're feeling light. You're feeling grateful. You're feeling happy. Your heart is feeling so full of love and gratitude and appreciation. Perhaps you can even visualize tears running down your face on the top of this mountain. And now you're going to spread this love out to the world that needs it so desperately. Imagine that you're so high up, this is the highest mountain in the world, and you can see the entire planet below you. Sending love in these pink rays of light from your heart out to all beings on the planet. Sending them this pink love, this pink light. Sending them this green light of compassion. And now spreading this white light out to all beings and to all corners of the planet. May all beings be purified. May the planet be purified. May the planet be detoxified. Thank you for your service work in this moment. And what I'd like you to do now is imagine in your hand you're holding a seed. It could be any type of seed. And I want you to imagine you're taking this experience, all of the positive feelings of love and joy and connection and gratitude and abundance, and all the visions of your highest possible 2021, all the people, opportunities, experiences. And I'd like you to shrink it down into the size of a seed and place that vision into the seed in your hand. And I'd like you to visualize walking outside to a special place in your garden or somewhere else in a forest, special place in a forest perhaps, and placing the seed into the earth and planting it so that it may grow. And if you'd like, you can even physically walk outside after this and plant this invisible seed outside. And when you've done that, you can imagine grounding roots from the bottoms of your feet, from your toes and the soles of your feet, down into the earth below you. Take a nice breath and open your eyes. Thank you for joining me on that journey, and thank you for joining me for this transmission. I invite you to check out what I'm offering as far as my packages if you're interested in working more with me. These are available on acoustichealth.com. There's package A, which is over 30 hours of teaching content through Mastery Empowerment courses and webinars. There's package B, which has all that plus a 45-minute private reading with me. It's called a soul plan reading. We'll go into your life plan, your karma, your karmic relationships, your future timelines. You meet your guides, can answer any questions that you have at all. And also there's a package C, which has the 30 hours of teaching content, the soul plan reading, plus a 90-minute Starseed discovery session. If you'd like to find out whether you're a Starseed, and if so, where you come from in this galaxy or outside the galaxy, and you get to take an astral journey to your home planet or place of origin. Starseed Discovery Journey is super cool. It's an amazing experience. So you can check out those packages on acoustichealth.com. And thank you again for joining me on this journey. I wish you the most amazing 2021. Think positively, visualize positively. From my heart to yours, this has been Matthew John.